The morning begins, just like any other. Sunlight spills across quiet cities. Cars move through traffic. Birds glide through the sky. Waves roll calmly against distant shores. Nothing seems unusual. And then, it happens. Not with an explosion, not with a sound, but with an invisible force that suddenly grows stronger across the entire planet. In a single moment, Earth's gravity doubles. At first, people don't understand what they're feeling. A man stepping out of his apartment pauses. His body suddenly feels heavy, as if he's wearing an invisible suit of armor. He grips the railing beside him, trying to catch his breath. Across the street, a jogger slows to a stop. Each step now feels like lifting twice the weight. Inside an office tower, coffee cups thud harder against desks. Papers slide off surfaces, as if pulled by unseen hands. In homes across the world, people feel it at the same time. A strange pressure, a sudden heaviness. Many stumble. Some fall to their knees. Children trying to stand feel the floor, pulling harder than ever before. Pets struggle to jump onto couches they leapt onto easily just seconds earlier. Something fundamental has changed. High above the Earth, satellites continue their silent orbit. But deep inside control rooms around the world, computers begin flashing warnings. Orbital paths are shifting. The tiny balance that keeps satellites circling the planet is suddenly disturbed. Technicians stare at their screens. The numbers are all wrong. Gravity. It appears stronger. Inside observatories, astronomers rush to confirm the data. Telescopes track satellites that are slowly dipping lower than expected. In physics laboratories, instruments that measure gravitational pull are behaving strangely. The readings climb, then climb again, and again. Within minutes, the conclusion becomes unavoidable. The force that holds everything to the Earth has doubled, but the planet itself is already reacting. Airplanes in the sky feel it first. Inside the cockpit, pilots notice the sudden, crushing weight of the aircraft. The engines strain harder just to maintain altitude. Passengers feel themselves pressed deeper into their seats. Some planes begin descending unexpectedly, struggling against the heavier pull toward the ground. On mountain slopes, small rocks start tumbling. Loose soil collapses more easily under the stronger force. Tiny landslides ripple down steep cliffs, the start of something much larger. In cities filled with towering skyscrapers, engineers watch their monitors with growing concern. Every building is designed for Earth's gravity. Not twice that amount. Steel beams bend slightly more than they should. Bridges creak under the weight of traffic that suddenly feels twice as heavy. In forests and jungles, animals sense the change before humans fully understand it. Birds try to take flight, but their wings beat harder and faster just to stay airborne. Many can barely lift off the ground. Others drop back into the trees, exhausted. Insects struggle to hover. Dragonflies skim the surface of rivers, unable to climb higher. The sky begins to grow eerily quiet. Across the oceans, something even larger is happening. The water itself is responding to the stronger pull. Waves grow heavier. Currents slow and shift. Along coastlines, tides begin behaving strangely, pulled more aggressively toward the planet's surface. Ships rock differently in the thickening grip of gravity. Deep underground, the Earth's crust feels the increased pressure. Fault lines that once balanced under a specific gravitational force now carry immense stress. Geologists watch seismic monitors flicker. Tiny tremors appear in places that were once stable. The entire planet is adjusting to a new weight, pressing down on every mountain, every valley, every ocean. Back in the cities, the human body begins to struggle. Walking becomes exhausting. Climbing stairs feels like scaling a mountain. Even lifting an arm requires noticeably more effort. Ambulances rush through traffic as hospitals see patients with sudden injuries from falls, strain, and exhaustion. Doctors quickly realize something alarming. The human body evolved under one gravity, not two. Our hearts, our bones, our muscles, they weren't built for this. In laboratories, scientists race to understand the impossible. Computer simulations run through countless possibilities. Cosmic events, changes in Earth's core, unknown phenomena affecting the laws of physics, but none of the explanations fully make sense. Because if gravity has truly doubled, the consequences are only just beginning. Across the planet, the signs keep growing. Birds vanish from the sky. Buildings groan under their own weight. Airplanes struggle to remain aloft. And deep beneath the oceans, immense pressure begins to build. Earth is entering a new reality, a heavier world. And humanity has only just begun to feel its crushing weight. What happens next? How would society survive in a world where every single thing weighs twice as much? Imagine waking up one morning and feeling heavy. Not just tired, but physically heavier. You try to get out of bed, and your limbs feel like lead. Every step is a struggle. This isn't just a bad dream. Across the entire planet, everyone and everything is experiencing the same impossible reality. Gravity has just doubled. The change is silent, but its effects are immediate and catastrophic. In our bustling cities, the familiar rhythm of life grinds to a halt. People shuffle cautiously, leaning on walls for support. Cars crawl along, their engines screaming under the immense new load. Construction cranes, designed to lift tons, now sag under their own doubled weight. Frozen monuments over half-finished skeletons of buildings. Bridges, the arteries of our metropolises, begin to groan and crack, their engineered limits pushed far beyond breaking point. Out in the countryside, the earth itself is hillsides, once stable, collapse in massive landslides. The ancient forests begin to bow, giant trees bending as their roots fight a losing battle against the crushing pull. In the mountains, colossal slabs of rock break free, triggering avalanches of unprecedented scale that thundered down into the valleys, burying everything in their path. The very face of our planet is being violently remolded. Look up, and the crisis is just as terrifying. The thousands of satellites that form the backbone of our modern world are being dragged from the sky. One by one, they fall, streaking across the atmosphere like man-made meteor showers. GPS fails. Communication networks flicker and die. The invisible infrastructure that connects us all is collapsing from above. Air travel becomes a deadly gamble. Planes struggle to stay airborne, their engines pushed to the absolute maximum. Pilots fight to maintain altitude against a force they were never meant to encounter. The skies, once crisscrossed with contrails, fall silent. The oceans, covering 70% of our world, feel the pressure to... The water's immense weight pushes down, increasing the pressure in the deep-sea trenches to unimaginable levels. This disrupts the delicate balance of ocean currents that regulate our global climate. Tides become more extreme, causing catastrophic flooding along some coastlines, while others see the sea mysteriously retreat. In labs around the world, scientists race against time. Their simulations paint a grim picture. Every object on Earth now weighs twice as much. This means doubled the stress on our bones, our muscles, our hearts. Our bodies are working overtime just to keep us alive. The atmosphere itself is compressing, becoming denser. Clouds hang lower, and storms become terrifyingly violent, releasing sudden, massive downpours as gravity rips the water from the sky. Deeper steel beneath our feet. The planet's tectonic plates begin to shift under the added weight of the continents and oceans above. Dormant fault lines awaken. Earthquakes ripple across the globe in regions that have been quiet for centuries. The very crust of our planet is becoming unstable. As days turn into weeks, life slows to a crawl. Standing for too long is exhausting. Basic tasks feel like monumental efforts. But the most terrifying question hangs in the heavy air. Why did this happen? And will it stop? Or is this just the beginning? The latest simulations suggest a future even more dire. If gravity remains this strong, mountains could slowly collapse under their own weight. The atmosphere may compress so much that breathing becomes difficult. The oceans could migrate, fundamentally changing the shape of our world. We have entered a new, heavier era, a world where every moment is a fight against the very ground beneath our feet. And the most dramatic changes, the ones that could truly end our world as we know it. Days pass. But gravity does not return to normal. Instead, the planet sinks deeper into its new reality. A world where every mountain, every ocean, every living creature carries twice the weight it was ever meant to bear. And now, the most dramatic consequences begin to unfold. Across the great mountain ranges of Earth, the change becomes impossible to ignore. The towering peaks of the Himalayas, the Andes, and the Rockies were sculpted over millions of years by slow geological forces. But under double gravity, even mountains feel heavy. Cliffs fracture more easily. Massive slabs of rock collapse from high ridges, and entire slopes begin to slide downward in enormous landslides. Some peaks slowly crumble, their towering heights no longer supported by the strength of the rock beneath them. The tallest places on Earth are beginning to shrink. Gravity is slowly flattening the world. In forests across the planet, giant trees struggle to remain standing. Redwoods and ancient rainforest giants bend under their own enormous mass. Branches snap. Massive trunks begin to split. Some trees that stood for centuries collapse to the forest floor, their weight now too great for their roots to hold. The forests grow quieter, heavier. The sky above them seems lower than ever before. Animals everywhere struggle with the relentless pull. Herds move slowly across open plains, their bodies exhausted by every step. Birds rarely take flight now. The skies that were once full of movement have grown empty. Only the strongest flyers manage short, labored bursts above the ground before landing again. Nature is adapting back at our coast. In cities, humanity faces its greatest challenge. Everyday life has become a battle against weight. People move slowly through streets, conserving energy with every step. Lifting objects requires enormous effort. Construction has stopped. Transportation systems operate at limited capacity. Some older buildings have already failed, unable to support their own increased mass. Others remain standing, but engineers reinforce them constantly to prevent collapse. The world's infrastructure, designed for one gravity, is now struggling to survive under two. The oceans, too, are transforming. Under stronger gravity, water spreads differently across the planet's surface. Shallow coastal seas slowly retreat as water flows toward deeper basins. Ocean trenches grow even deeper under the crushing weight above them. Pressure in the deepest parts of the ocean climbs to unimaginable levels. Creatures adapted to darkness and pressure find their world becoming even more extreme. Above the surface, the oceans appear calmer, but far heavier. Waves roll slower, thicker, as if the sea itself has gained weight. High above Earth, space is growing quieter. Most satellites have already fallen. Without their delicate balance against gravity, they plunged into the atmosphere and burned across the sky. Night after night, streaks of fire lit the darkness. Now, only a few distant machines remain in unstable orbits. Humanity's presence in space has nearly vanished. The planet has pulled everything closer. The atmosphere itself has changed. Under stronger gravity, air compresses closer to the ground. The sky appears a deeper blue. Clouds hang lower across the horizon. Air pressure near the surface rises slightly, making breathing feel thicker, heavier. Storms behave differently now. Rain falls faster. Thunderclouds collapse more quickly under their own weight. Even the weather has adapted to the heavier Earth. Yet despite the chaos, the planet does not collapse. Earth stabilizes. The crust adjusts. Mountains erode faster. Oceans settle into new shapes. Forests regrow in altered forms. Life begins the slow process of adapting. And humanity adapts too. Cities are redesigned for the heavier world. Machines become stronger. Buildings are reinforced. Transportation evolves to handle greater loads. Children grow up knowing only this new gravity. Their muscles develop stronger. Their bodies slowly adapt to the heavier environment. A new generation begins to thrive under conditions that once seemed impossible. From space, the planet still looks familiar. Blue oceans, white clouds, green continents. But beneath that beauty lies a world transformed. A world pressed more tightly together by an invisible force. A world where every movement carries weight. Gravity is the quiet architect of our universe. It holds galaxies together. It shapes stars. It binds planets. And here on Earth, it defines the limits of life itself. For billions of years, life evolved under a delicate balance of forces. Not too weak, not too strong. Just enough gravity to hold oceans, air, and living creatures to the surface. Change that balance, heaven slightly, and the entire world begins to transform. Because gravity is more than just the force that keeps our feet on the ground. It is the invisible foundation of everything we know. The shape of mountains, The flight of birds. The beating of a human heart. And if that force were ever to change, even for a moment, Earth would remind us just how fragile our balance truly is. Thanks for watching.